Hello guys, welcome to another edition of Spotlight, the spot that shines on loads of love on your electronic music stars. I'm Tomer G, and this time I'll be speaking to one of the busiest persons in the dance music industry. It's Swiss house music talent Maurizio Colella, aka EDX. As a DJ performer, he's touring everywhere, including having his own residency at Privilege Club in Ibiza. As a music producer, he gains massive success in the house music charts. As a label manager and A&R, he can identify what is the next thing on the dance floors. And as a radio presenter, his No Excuses podcast is simply addictive. EDX has managed to experience both backstage and front stage in his long-lasting successful music career. Therefore, he's well-deserved of our spotlight shine. This is what EDX had to say at our conversation. This is his Spotlight. We're at the Spotlight. I'm Tomer G, and today I'm gonna interview one of the biggest, I think it's one of the busiest persons in the music industry. Hello, EDX.
Hey Tomer, what's up?
I'm good, and you?
Well, we are in Ibiza, I can't complain at all.
You're a very unique artist, so let's talk about your style, the EDX style, because I'm a regular listener to the podcast that you're doing, which is No Excuses. It's up on SoundCloud, so it's our podcast choice, and like the podcast that you do, you're mixing like underground with deep house, a bit more commercial, so you're doing like loads of stuff, and it's mixing up together perfectly. So what is the ultimate EDX style, your definition of your style?
You know, there is different angles and situations, so my podcast is available on SoundCloud, it's available on YouTube. You can listen to it also on my Spotify playlist. You can download it on iTunes as a regular podcast, so it's very important to subscribe to it. And I always try kind of to have a lot of new fresh sound. Well, when you listen to EDX, I think the first thing you always kind of feel as a listener is this kind of make me feel good vibe, which I always try like to add like something a little bit summerish, something fresh, just that makes people smile. You know, it's very simple, make people smile. If you just want to describe the EDX sound, three words, so it's very simple, make people smile.
I'm down, I call on you, my friend, a helping hand you lend in my time of need. Whenever I'm down, I call on you, my friend, a helping hand you lend in my time of need. Whenever I'm down.
You were saying that in the past days, like people were supposed to send vinyl to reach the DJ, but today it's all like pressing a button and everything is reachable. So there's a bit of a problem with that because there are loads of stuff out there, and you're a label manager, so how do you like choose what is good, what is not? If there's like a new artist that are watching the show now and he wants to reach you or he wants to reach other DJs, it's not easy, even though it's like clicking a button. Is it that easy or not?
Well, I think the competition has remained the same because You just now have much more people, but the market is much bigger. So you just click a button and everyone in Russia, everyone in India, everyone in Bangladesh, in Uruguay can hear your music right away, like technically the same day you produce it, you know. I think that the biggest issue with all that is that the quality is just like not as good as it should be, because before every label manager, every A&R had always to like think about it, like, hey, if you're gonna sign on this record, we need at least to spend £5,000 just to produce records, to have a nice design of the artwork, and make sure that we ship that record to the DJs. You know, like to ship one record was like £3, like, and you had like maybe a list of 200 DJs, so it's already $1,000 just to ship the record to the DJ, and then you still had to call them, take a phone, spend time, like efforts. Now you just make you click one button, every DJ just gets it. You know, that's kind of becoming an issue, because it's very hard, because it's too many releases. But I think like at the end of the day, if the music is good, sometimes quality isn't that good, but I think it's not that important, as long as the music is like soul, as like the right vibe, and like kind of reaches the people's hearts. I think it doesn't like really matter. If I should give an advice to just like a producer sending out a demo to a label, please, it's very important just to make sure that when you send something, just send one record, send the best record, and just send it to the label where you feel like kind of fits, you know. It doesn't make sense just to send records to the biggest labels because you want to be on the biggest label if that sound doesn't fit the label's profile, you know. So this is sometimes kind of a little bit a mistake a lot of producers do, because at the end of the day, what happens? You send them once a record, they listen to it maybe because it was the right moment. They just were like listening to records and they listen to your record. You're gonna send them a second time a record, maybe you are lucky again, and again the record is not fitting the label. If you're gonna send the third time the record, people will not listen to the record anymore, so they just delete it. So you kind of end up like into this situation where like you, at the end it's against you than for you. So I think it's very important. Make sure that you choose carefully the labels you send the records to. Make sure the sound fits that label, but make sure as well that it's not exactly sounding like other artists on the label, because why sign something that sounds exactly like EDX, Nor Pure, and all this stuff we have on our labels? If we have this already and we are doing well, we need something that adds something special, like some different, like cooler edge, or maybe something like more creativity. Or so that's like the biggest advice I feel like I could give to someone.
So let's sum it up with being picky with what you send, right? Pick the best track and don't do what other people are doing, other artists are doing, just trying to be a bit more unique, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's very important, I think, to have his everyone to has own signature sound, and make sure that you are the next big one that everyone wants to copy, you know?
Yeah.
Step off the train, I'm walking down your street again, past your door, but you don't live there anymore. It's years since you've been there, now you've disappeared somewhere, like outer space. You found some better place, and I miss you. And I miss you.
We all know Missing, your version of the 90s classic, which is amazing, done very well. What are your future plans? What are you gonna release soon?
Well, I was like home for a couple of days now, and I was working on a lot of new stuff. So I recently just started like kind of working on a fresher, newer update of EDX, where I was like trying to bring back a little bit more the groovy side, the more like tribal side that I have in my sets sometimes.
I'm now going to ask you a question about what do you want to do that you haven't done yet. No, I'm not just talking about music. I'm not just talking about collaboration with an artist. Like, think of something that's popping to your head.
I was always dreaming about having like a harem with like 10 girls, but no, I'm just kidding. I've done it. No, I've not done it. Well, you know, there is a lot of countries where I know there is a lot of music lovers, people that like really love what I do. They love my music, they get touched by it. I still want to travel to. This is definitely something I want to do on my EDX kind of angle.
Like what you want to travel to?
Countries I've not been yet.
Well, for example?
There is a lot. I've never played in Japan, as example. So I want to go to Japan. And there is a lot of other countries, still even in Europe I've not been. I've played so many countries, you know, only this summer I played like 15 European countries festivals. So, but there is a lot of countries that I feel like they need good music, and sometimes the situations don't allow it. But I want to go to these countries. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do it over the next couple of months, and I'm constantly like traveling, so I'm seeing the world. I'm like very pretty well fulfilled in my journey so far. But you know, during my journey, I'm sure there will be a lot of things that gonna happen that I've not done yet, and I will be ready by then.
You're surely gonna be ready, huh?
I don't know. should I say I was born ready?
Yeah, I think so.
It's
a cliche, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Such a shame that I feel this way. A feeling you just can't reciprocate. Yes, you told me you feel the same, and I know, yeah, and I know. I try my best to get my pride and push me into love with you inside. Cause lately I've been sad and realized, cause I know, yeah, cause I know, yes, I belong with you, my love. I don't know much, but I know this is true. Yes, I belong with you, my love. I guarantee nobody else will do.
One last question about something personal. Tell me a bit something about your being obsessed with in your private life. Something.
Well, you know,
like an obsession of something.
I actually think like when you want to be successful in whatever you do, you need to be obsessed with something.
Of course, that's what I'm asking.
So I'm obsessed with what I'm doing as a DJ, the travels, the music. I grew up in Switzerland, so I have the Italian side and the Swiss side in me, which I feel like I have a very big obsession of perfection. This like
I know it close. Yeah,
it comes from Switzerland, but it's very. There's still a very big diversity because I'm Italian, so it's a lot of things. I like to travel. That's like what I really love to do.
You make me feel good. You make me
just tell us how people can reach you? So we talked about the podcast, but just in all the social ways so people will know.
So there is different ways you can reach me. You can reach me on all my socials like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud for fresh new beats. Everything at /EDX music. That's my hashtag for throughout my socials. You can reach me at im.dj/EDX. And of course on my official webpage, edx.dj. Most important thing, make sure you subscribe to my podcast and make sure you download it once a week. It's free music, it's for you, and it's every week different. And don't make fun of my accent, it's just Italians and Swiss talking English.
EDX, thank you. Thanks a lot for being in the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching Spotlight. Cheers.